After getting disrespectfully relieved from the UFC, Kevin Lee is looking into his future in MMA and now is signed with Khabib Nurmagomedov at Eagle Fighting Championship. If you want the whole scoop on that and a hint of what else is up in the MMA world, stick around till the end of this video. First, getting let go. After losing 4 of his last 5 fights, Lee, 29, was released by the UFC. In November 2019, he knocked out Gregor Gillespie, who was previously undefeated, in a highlighted real knockout. Lee, a former UFC interim lightweight championship contender, has major victories against Gillespie, Michael Chiesa, and Edson Barboza, but he has struggled in the cage since dropping the interim crown to Tony Ferguson in October 2017. Current UFC lightweight champion Charles Oliveira and most recently emerged challenger Daniel Rodriguez were Lee's final 2 UFC defeats, both in August. Next, the disrespect. He got an email from the UFC on Tuesday morning alerting him of his dismissal. It wasn't from any member of the UFC's top hierarchy, not President Dana White, Chief Legal Officer Hunter Campbell, or even matchmaker Sean Shelby, and it was dated November 17. Lee claimed on the MMA Hour that the worst thing about it was that he didn't give sufficient warning or even a phone call about it. The lack of respect was what irritated him the most. Lee claimed he spoke with Campbell, but only after Campbell phoned him, not the other way around. Lee was let go from the UFC after 7 years and 18 fights with the organization. That includes an attempt at the interim lightweight championship in October 2017, when Lee was submitted in the 3rd round of their UFC 216 main event by Tony Ferguson, ending a 5-fight winning streak. Lee bounced back with a strong TKO medical stoppage victory over Edson Barboza in the 5th round. Lee, 18-7, had a difficult time, having lost 4 of his past 5 fights in the 3 years, with his long victory coming in at a highlight reel knockout of Gregor Gillespie at UFC 244, despite hopping between lightweight and welterweight owing to numerous weight failures. He was also handed a 6-month suspension by the Nevada Athletic Commission prior to his most recent loss against Daniel Rodriguez on August 28, owing to medicine he was using to manage adult ADHD. In the end, Lee's unceremonious withdrawal from the UFC leaves him with a bad taste in his mouth. Lee isn't sure why the UFC chose to release him, but he believes something else was at play after White stated he'd work out what's next for Lee here or elsewhere after the loss to Rodriguez. Signing with Eagle FC. Lee, 18-7 MMA, 11-7 UFC, has inked a multi-fight agreement with Nurmagomedov's Eagle FC just 1 month after being released by the UFC, according to a source close to the situation. The news was initially reported by Ariel Helwani. Kevin Lee has expressed interest in fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's now his employee. The agreement was revealed during a news conference in Miami on Wednesday, with Lee in attendance. Lee will make his professional debut on March 11th against an unnamed opponent at 165 pounds. Walking inside that building felt like a new beginning, being around a great champion and great champions in the past and attempting to follow in their footsteps. He feels like he has big shoes to fill, but he's here to fill them. Why Eagle FC? Lee said the promotion's commitment to a 165-pound division, which he has long advocated for, played a huge role in his decision to sign with Eagle FC. Lee stated that he'll be the first 165-pound world champion, that it'll be rewarding to make a small piece of mixed martial arts history. He also talked about how he feels about Nurmagomedov now versus when he first met him and how it affected his choice to sign with him. He talked about how he's observed Nurmagomedov's climb through the UFC and how he understands how difficult it is to be a champion and keep the title. He went on to add that's one thing, but then he began to realize what he could do outside of the cage, such as supporting his teammates and training others. Now he's going into promotion. That's something Lee acknowledges. He stated he had made many disparaging remarks about the man in the past, that he wanted to fight him and put himself to the test, but that he will only do it with individuals he respects. Lee's admiration for Nurmagomedov has grown since his retirement, and he's eager to go in and drop some blood for him. On January 28, Eagle FC 44 will take place in Miami with a heavyweight fight between Tyron Spong and Sergey Karatova as the main event. Rashad Evans, a UFC Hall of Famer, will return to the ring after a 15-year hiatus. Renan Barão, the former UFC bantamweight champion, will fight Horacio Gutierrez, another former UFC fighter, on the same card. In 2022, Eagle FC wants to organize up to 10 tournaments in the United States. Next, in other UFC news, Brittany Palmer. Brittany Palmer has been circling the UFC cage for 16 years, informing spectators of the round in which bouts are taking place. Diaz. That will be the case for the foreseeable future if she gets her way. Palmer made her UFC Octagon debut in 2005 when she was 34 years old, and despite the fact that she has other job options, she stated she still enjoys working with the UFC. Palmer was interviewed on the red carpet by MMA Junkie senior writer Mike Bohn prior to her earning Ring Card Girl of the Year at the 13th Annual World MMA Awards. Dustin Poirier, a highly anticipated showdown that never materialized in 2018, has resurfaced as a heated subject. Dustin Poirier and Nate Diaz, the former UFC interim lightweight champion, were supposed to fight at UFC 230, but an injury stopped the match from taking place. Poirier was forced to withdraw from the fight after suffering an injury little over a month before the fight. Diaz went on to win a unanimous decision against Anthony Pettis at UFC 241. After their planned bout, he has since lost back-to-back fights to Jorge Masvidal and Leon Edwards. Poirier, on the other hand, won the interim lightweight championship by defeating Max Holloway, but lost in a title unification match to Khabib Nurmagomedov. Poirier then went on to win 3 consecutive fights before losing the championship attempt to Charles Oliveira at UFC 269. Following a challenge on social media, Poirier looks to be ready to take on Diaz sooner rather than later. Despite previously claiming that he is unclear what's next, Diaz posted on Twitter eliciting a back and forth on the social media platform. A battle of this size would almost certainly take place on a major show if this matchup came together. UFC 270, the first pay-per-view event of 2022, will take place in Anaheim, California. Charles Oliveira. In the UFC 269 pay-per-view main event last Saturday at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, reigning lightweight champion Charles Oliveira solidified his standing as the king of the 155-pound division by defeating former interim champion Dustin Poirier. Unless the UFC wants to market a comeback story for ex-champion Conor McGregor, who remains the biggest PPV draw in cage fighting history, his victory over the Diamond opened the way for a Dustin Gaethje championship bout in early 2022. If he had the chance to fight Conor for money today, Oliveira told MMA Fighting's Portuguese language podcast Trocao Franca that he would. He went on to remark that no one is an idiot, of course. Because of the belt, he'd fight someone else, but who's going to fight Conor? Only a knucklehead, in his opinion. However, if he got the chance to face Conor, he would gladly accept the challenge. Regardless, the belt would be his. The division will have to make do and wait a little longer since there's not much else to do. They must consider their families, their children, and what they may do in the future. It would be tough for the UFC to justify giving another championship chance to McGregor, who has only one victory at 155 pounds, has lost 3 of his previous 4 fights, and has barely made the division. The top 10 in the most recent rankings update. At the same time, MMA is a kind of prize fighting that follows a different set of regulations than other sports. Top contenders such as Gaethje will have no choice but to wait if the company can get another blockbuster PPV, while McGregor remains a legitimate attraction. Women in Eagle FC. Khabib Nurmagomedov has recently asked during a press conference if Eagle FC might expect to recruit any female players. Nurmagomedov, who has already stated that he dislikes women's MMA and ring ladies, did not rule it out. Nurmagomedov's argument that the world only has 5 or 6 excellent female fighters is absolutely false. This attitude also begs the issue of how he regards the abilities of the guys he's promoted. The main event of Eagle 44 FC, which was initially set to feature Antonio Bigfoot Silva, take place on January 28 in Miami, Florida. Renan Barão versus Horacio Gutierrez and Ray Borg versus Cody Gibson are among the other fights on the program. That's a wrap for this video. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.